I accidentally stumbled into street photography when I took my telephoto lens to the beach to photograph seagulls. Some humans got in the way and I discovered they're a fascinating subject. When I went to YouTube to find the perfect affordable street photography camera like the Leica Q3, I discovered there might be just a little bit of controversy when it comes to this genre.
No longer need randos with cameras taking pictures of people without their consent.
I do street photography. I do street photography, and I took photos of people in the street.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not a problem. I can delete.
You don't like being verbally abused for something I'm totally innocent of.
Yes, I did. I'll blur your face out.
I recently watched a debate between Tony and Chelsea Northrup as to whether candid street photography should be legal or not. Tony feels that you should have to ask the subject's permission, but Chelsea defended the value of getting candid photographs.
I'm saying it should be illegal to take pictures of people in public places where the person is the subject of the photo and it's not a newsworthy event. And I do feel like we have some expectation of privacy even in public places, especially where street photography is most prevalent, like New York City. People really do wander down the street in their bathrobe to grab a paper.
Tony gave the example of a lady in New York City who was being harassed by a creep taking upskirt photos. He said that the First Amendment should not protect perverts. I definitely agree that this sort of perverse behavior shouldn't be happening, but this isn't what street photography is. I agree with Chelsea's view on the value of candid street photography.
The value historically, which I know that you see, is that we get this insight into our own humanity. Not only how people used to live, but what our world used to be like. What was the human experience like at the time? And I think that's not something you can get from all media. You could say like, oh, photojournalists already do that. Not true, because I think a lot of photojournalists have this motive to find the most sensational and dramatic moment, whereas street photography is often focused intentionally on the mundane. It's finding beauty in the usual.
I love nothing more than looking through historical photographs where the people aren't posed and they're going about their everyday business. I love this photo from 1907 called The Steerage by Alfred Stieglitz. It really shows what it was like for immigrants on these crowded passenger ships. This one wasn't coming to America, it was actually going back to Europe, and it probably had a lot of rejected immigrants from Ellis Island. And I also love watching remastered footage from the turn of the last century. You can see what San Francisco was like before the 1906 earthquake, and I love seeing people go about their everyday tasks instead of posing for a fancy portrait. It really gives you a window to see into what life was really like back then. I've come to the realization that even though I appreciate the ability to document everyday life, not everybody sees it that way. There's so many people out there that do not want their photo taken. They think people have bad intentions. I'll never forget the story that Brian James at Micro Four Thirds Guy told about when he was trying to photograph a monument in the city center and a young lady started verbally abusing him.
When people aren't the principal point of your photography and all you're doing is a perfectly legal, and I mean seriously, perfectly legal, nothing at all illegal in the UK about doing what I was doing yesterday, and you get called a pervert and other words which I probably can't say on YouTube because it'll get me banned or demonetized or whatever it is, even though it wasn't my words being said. And when every word that's in between that is an expletive beginning with F, and you're being called these things because you've taken a photograph of somebody who just happened to be in a shot. I didn't even see them as I took the shot. I'm being demanded, get rid of it. I haven't given you my permission. I'm only 15, she said, interspersed with some very adult language. And the whole city centre could hear me being called these names. Everybody looks around. She went off, of course, got a whole group of her friends together, and her friends ganged around me. So not only was it a false accusation, but it was intimidation too. And that was the picture. That was the picture which started it all off.
And then I saw this confrontation that photographer David Kwaku had with this lady who just refused to listen to reason about the art of street photography.
Whatever your name it is, I'm sorry if I make you feel in this way. What I want to tell you is that I do this because it's my passion to take photo of people in the street to catch a moment, whatever, and a feeling. I'm sorry if I make you feel in this way.
I wouldn't
That's
be
no-
bothered
that wasn't-
if you took like the bridge and I'm just it, but you took me.
Okay.
It's not the same.
Okay. I'm sorry I make you late. Could you do you have Instagram?
No, I'm not giving you my.
No.
I'm not
I don't want.
following you either.
I don't want you to follow me or
No,
give me your
no,
Instagram.
I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Okay, I try to understand you and I got you. You don't want to understand me and it's fine. I just want to make you feel better. If you see what I do, you can understand. If you don't want to see, it's okay.
Understand.
No, I don't think so, because if you see what I do,
I understand.
you will.
It's okay either.
It's life and it's okay. I accept the fact that you don't want to consider what I do. It's okay. I'm sorry if I make you feel in this way, but I'm not gonna stop to do that because I'm a street photographer and I work so hard to arrive at this level with this mindset, and I'm not gonna change. I know who I am.
That's good for you. That's
I know.
good for all the women that you're gonna cross paths with.
This problem with offended people isn't just limited to street photography, but it can also happen in street videography, as Casey from Camera Conspiracies experienced.
She almost didn't make it, but she made it. She didn't want to be in the video. No. YouTube. Everybody? Yes, I did. I'll blur your face out. I will not put you in the video. I do not, but you can subscribe to Camera Conspiracies and life will be good. Okay. She doesn't want to be in the video.
After watching these unpleasant interactions, it kind of put me off of street photography. I have social anxiety, and I don't think I could handle being called a pervert out in the streets. Then I remembered I'm a woman, and I think women do have an advantage when it comes to getting called a creep when you're going around with a camera in public. I soon discovered that street photographers put rules in place for themselves to avoid these kind of confrontations.
If someone complains or tells me they don't want to be photographed, I delete the picture. I normally don't take photos of kids or people who are struggling, like homeless people, unless there's a very specific reason to do so. And also, I always have clear motivations on why I'm outside taking photos of the streets and of people. If someone asks me, I'm always ready to explain that to them.
I love this advice from the photographer Jill Friedman. She passed away a few years ago, but she was an epic street photographer in New York City. She rode with the fire department and the police department back in the 1970s, and she captured some of the most powerful images I've seen.
Well, I have one rule, which I don't take your picture if you don't want me to. Unless I'm doing a story. Like, if I get some perpetrator, of course I'm going to take the pictures. But if I'm just walking in the street that people say don't, then I won't. What the fuck do I need them for? I don't need to look at them again. But most people love having their picture taken. Like, the best pictures are smart people using their brain. When I'm after a picture, I try not to do anything stupid, but I want that picture. And I want more than just a snap, I'm telling a story. I'm a storyteller.
I agree with Casey from Camera Conspiracies that once you set foot outside of your house, you don't have any reasonable expectation of privacy when you're in public.
If you're out in public, you have to expect zero privacy. You're being filmed by surveillance, by cops, by cell phones, by everything. We're always on someone's show. But is street videography ethical? It's like you're outside. Like, what do you have to hide? The only reason you would be saying it's illegal and unethical is if you have something to hide and you're nervous of the world seeing your true colors.
Tony Northrup argues that we no longer need street photography in the modern era. We have social media, so people will know exactly what life is like.
1937 in China, if you want to see what that looked like, you would have to rely on street photographers because not that many people had cameras, not that many people had the skill set or the money in order to take pictures. So that's all we have historically. But nobody's going to be like, oh my God, how did people dress in 2020? There's a massive, unlimited amount of media. If you want pictures of kids playing in the street in 2020, the parents will take it.
But when you look at the images on Instagram and Facebook, they're staged and they're highly filtered. In my opinion, it's critically important to document exactly what life is like, even with all of the flaws. If you depend on the images that are curated for social media, you're not going to get the entire story of what life was really like. If you like this video, give it a like. Consider subscribing for more camera-related content from a newbie like me. God bless.